All right. All right. There's some contemporary stuff that's going on that I want to mention because I'll say that for later. Verse 4. And here we go. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna just break this scripture down for y'all, man, and hold y'all down with it, man. Just hit you with a honey bun, right? All right. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men and bare children with them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. My first recording was good, but I got one word wrong. That word was Nephal. Nephal does not mean fallen one. It means giant and fallen one. It means it's the same thing. Meaning you have to be a giant and you have to be a fallen one. That's what the word literally means. Strong's Concordance 5303. Let's read the definition. The word means giants, the Nephilim. The word is used in Numbers 13:33, and the word is used in, of course, this verse right here. You know what this word means when it is used to describe the sons of Anak, because Anak were giants, and they were of the giants, because everybody was big in the first world anyway, so you could just be big and not be of the giants. But the sons of Anak were of the giants and were giants. Okay? And why did the scriptures say that the old giants came back through Anak, who was a Canaanite? Well, that's exactly what it is. You understand? The spirits of those evil children that were born to those demonic angels that had sex with the children of men, the Adamite daughters and the Canaanite daughters, and those children came back through Canaan. So that's proof that the other nations are they're not going to make it. Okay, they're not going to make it because those spirits came back through the seed of Canaan. Canaan was cursed with leprosy. Canaan is also the producer of the old giants that were in the earth in those days, and after that, Canaan brought them back. All right? All right. So, let's break down Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. Going into the Blue Letter Bible. There were giants in the earth in those days. Nephal, fallen angels and giants. Eretz means earth. Yam in those days. So, there were giants in the earth in those days. When you read it in Hebrew and you reason it out in general in Hebrew, it is giants, fallen ones in the earth in those days. And also after that, Akar, that Khan, when Asher, the sons Ben of God Elohim, came in bow unto the daughters Bath of men, Adam, and they bare children to them, Yaled Hem. Stop. Okay. The word Akar means after. Okay, so there were giant fallen ones in the earth in those days and after. All right. The word Khan means so, therefore, and thus. Okay, so, therefore, and thus, which is the word for that, which is a mistranslation, but that's okay. Now, this word here, Asher, is the key, because the word Asher is the word for when, which, you know, in English is all off. But the word Asher means basically which is related to. You know what I'm saying? That's the astronomical coordinates 834. Asher means which, who, that which, since, in the condition of, you know, sort of like a connecting, which is related to. You know, like the girl got smacked, which is also related to her going to the hospital. The girl got smacked, so thus she went to the hospital. The girl got smacked when she went to the hospital. You understand? That's the time of when actually makes sense. But, you know, the word when really shouldn't be there for Asher. Asher means like something like related to. Okay. Let's start at the top. Nephal, Eretz, Yam. Giants, the giant fallen ones were in the earth in those days. Akar, after. Khan, that, which is also related to. Okay. Which is also related to, meaning the giants were in the earth because of an event. That's why the word Asher is there, to show you that the sons of God coming into the daughters of men is a direct result of the giant fallen ones in the earth in those days and after. And how did they get into the world after that? Through Canaan. Because Anak is a son of Canaan, a son of Ham. All right. There were giants, Nephal, or really giant fallen ones, in the earth, Eretz, or really in the earth, in those days, Yam, in those days, and also after Akar, after. That Khan. I guess, yeah. And Khan, yeah, Khan is that. Okay. When Asher, which is also related to the sons Ben, the sons of God, Elohim, of God, came in, Baal, came in unto the daughters, Bath, which means daughters, of men, Adam, men, and they bear Yalid, children. Okay, they bear, okay, children to them, the same, Hem, and Hem means children. And I'm going to stop right there. Now I'm going to read it for real. And I'm going to read it the way it's supposed to sound, all the way up until the word mighty. There were giant fallen ones in the earth in those days and after, which is also related to the sons of God coming into the daughters of men and having children with them. That's the way it's supposed to read. That's the way it's supposed to sound. Okay. Let's go down here. The same became mighty, which is Gibor. Okay, and Gibor literally means mighty. But at the end of this thing, it's also confusing. Which were of old men of renown. That shouldn't even be there. The word Elem, the word Olem means in the ancient times. Okay. So, since the book of Genesis is being written in the year of, in the year 1450 BC, which is basically 2,000 years after the flood. All right. Of course, this scripture will be basically talking about a history, because the flood was 2,000 years before the writing of this scripture. But this actual event took place, I would say, 1,000 years before that. So this event really took place 3,000 years before this was written. So now I'm going to read the whole thing the way it should mean, okay? Because which were of old is not supposed to be there for Olem, okay? And then the next word is Enosh, that just means men. Okay, that just means men, and of renown means Shem. So, and Shem means renown. So what that statement is supposed to mean is they were mighty. Okay, they were mighty in the ancient. They were mighty in those ancient days, men of renown. Which means that it's a history. They're telling a history. Okay, Gibor, Olem, Anar, Shem just means they were mighty in those ancient days, men of renown. So, you have Nephal, Arech, Yah, Makar, Khan, Asher ben Elohim, Baal, Bath, Adam, Yalad, Hem, Gibor, Olem, Enosh, and Shem. Okay, there were giants, Nephal, giant fallen ones. In the earth, Eretz, in the earth, in those days, Yam, in those days, and also after, Akal, after, that, Khan, that, when Asher, which is also related to, okay, the sons, Ben, sons of God, Elohim, Elohim is God in plural, okay, of God, gods, came in, Baal, means came in, unto the daughters, Bath, which means daughters, of men, Adam, which means men, and they bear, Yalad, bear, children to them, the same, Hem, children to them, were mighty men, Gabor, mighty, which were of old, wrong, Olam means ancient times, men, Enosh, men, of renown, Shem, renown. Now let's read it the way it's supposed to sound. See it on the screen? Here we go. There were giant fallen ones in the earth in those days, and also after that, which is also related to the sons of God coming into the daughters of men and having children with them, who are also mighty in those ancient times, men of renown. That's what the scripture actually means. That is the proper breakdown of Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. All right. So, you know, there it is, the breakdown of Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. And on to the next one.